Good afternoon, everybody. I'm just here to help you set up number 9 from the homework for 7.3. And I know that it's always tough to do these problems, and when you see them, you just, if anything, you save them till last, and if you run out of time, you just wait for me to show you how to do them. So let's do a little more practice setting them up together. Now I'm going to solve it for you. I'll give you a little guidance and get you started, but I'm not going to solve it completely for you. So here we go. We were asked to prove that the corresponding altitudes of congruent triangles are congruent. So when we go to translate that into a given and a prove, we're proving that altitudes are congruent, and corresponding meaning they're in the same position of our congruent triangles. So we're given some congruent triangles, we're given some altitudes that are corresponding, and what we're trying to do is prove that those altitudes are congruent. So I drew some congruent triangles, and labeled them, and I even made them face the same direction. Labeled them A, B, C, and X, Y, Z, and then drew in the altitude from the top vertex, and I drew an altitude down to the opposite sides. So we've got corresponding altitudes here and here. So we're given congruent triangles, we're given corresponding altitudes. We're going to prove that those altitudes are congruent. So we're going to start with our first given. This information, congruent triangles, when we say triangles are congruent, the next statement is always CPCTC. So there's information that comes off of this statement right here that will follow this given. So I'm going to put this given in one spot and save these two givens for another spot. So I'll start you off with triangle ABC is congruent to triangle XYZ. That's a given. Now again, if you recall, CPCTC is always a statement that follows congruent triangles, or 98% of the time that's the statement that follows congruent triangle statement. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our altitudes, and we're going to look at our congruent triangles, and we're going to see if we can't figure out a path or a plan. So let's go ahead and look at triangle ABD and triangle XYV. When we're looking at those two triangles, at which these two lines, the altitudes are sides of those two triangles, I'm looking at the information out of triangle ABC and XYZ that are congruent, that by CPCTC would help me prove sides and angles. So I think I probably could go ahead and state through CPCTC that AB is congruent to XY through CPCTC, and that would give me a pair of sides. And angle B is available and open. It's not sharing sides or angles, so we wouldn't use A, because angle A up here is split. So this is an open angle and this is an open angle. So don't pay attention to the fact that these are marked, okay? We've got altitudes, but we still have to state that they are right angles and congruent to each other. So we've got a side and an angle. And so that information right there would be really helpful. So I would put my sides here and my angles here, and I think I'd just split those two up and give you sides and give you angles. And then that is pretty much all you can get out of that statement of your congruent triangles. The next given will give you your next sets of information. So if these are altitudes, the next statement after altitudes is that they form right angles. And so you would put your givens here. You would state altitudes form right angles here. And then you still have one more congruency statement. You've got your congruent sides here, your congruent angles there, and you can see that it's angle, angle, side, angle, angle, side. So you've got to have one more congruency statement here. So once you state that they're right angles, you're going to have to state that they're congruent. Okay, and you're going to have to know why those. You can come up with the reason that these two angles are congruent from this statement here, and then you have enough information to prove angle, side. And I think from there you'll be fine. Sorry about that. Let me get that out of the way. You'll be fine coming up with the rest of this proof. Now, if you wanted to challenge yourself, maybe instead of proving ABD and XYZ, you could try doing triangle ACD and XVZ, XZV, pardon me, and you could try proving that side to challenge yourself to make sure you really understand it. So I hope that helps. And have a great day. See you tomorrow.